More than 1,000 years ago, the Sassenachs came and they invaded Britain. And King Vortigern of the Britons had to retreat far, far to the west, to the high mountains in the west of Wales. And there in a place called Gwynedd, with his advisors, he arrived. And the advisors said, here you must build a citadel, a fortress, to protect against the Sassenachs. Well, they began to gather masons and builders, carpenters. And when the materials were gathered, they began to build the walls of a great fortress. But that first night, everything that had been built vanished. The next day, they collected more materials. Higher the walls were built and stronger. But on the following morning, again, everything that had been built had vanished. A third day they built, this time stronger, higher, a great fortress. It was completed. And on the next morning, vanished. It was gone. Well, King Vortigern turned to his advisors. Tell me, what is the meaning of this? Why has this citadel that should be built in these mountains gone? And the advisors looked at each other, and one advisor stepped forward. What we must do is we must find a boy with no father. And we must kill him. And we must put his blood on the ground. A sacrifice. Well, the messengers were sent forward and they spread across the lands of Wales, and in a place called Asalech they found a boy. And this boy was playing at the ball with other boys. And the other boys were saying, away with you, boy with no father. We will not play with you. So the messenger took that boy and brought him back to the mountains of Gwynedd, and there, in that place, the boy stood before King Vortigern and the advisors and learned that he was to be sacrificed. Who is it that says that my blood should be spilled? Said the boy. My advisors. And the boy turned to the advisors. If you know so much, then you will know why the fortress vanished. The wise men looked at each other, but they could not answer. It is because, said the boy, underneath this place there is a deep pool. Dig and you will see. Well, the wise advisors, they laughed, but the king said, let us see. And they began to dig in the ground, and there, indeed, they exposed a deep pool of water. The advisors were confused. And in this pool, said the boy, what will you find down in the pool? And the advisors once more could not answer. I will tell you, down in the pool you will find 2 vases. Divers went down under the water, and when they returned with 2 great containers, vases. The advisors once more were confused, amazed. I ask you, said the boy, if you are so clever, what is inside the 2 vases? Again, the advisors, did they know? No idea. Inside the 2 vases you will find a tent. Well, they broke open the vases, and indeed inside those 2 vases was one tent, a great tent, and it was folded. And inside the tent, said the boy, and the king looked at his advisors, and now they were humbled, ashamed. Inside the tent, there are 2 dragons, a red dragon and a white dragon. And he unfolded that tent, and inside there were 2 dragons. And those dragons were mighty. And they began to fight, hissing and sharp clawed, scale skinned. And they fought one another. And the fight was vicious, harsh. The white dragon seemed stronger and drove the red dragon across the tent to the very edge. But now the red dragon retaliated. But the white dragon seemed stronger, and the white dragon began to attack the red once more, and it was sure that the red dragon was to be killed. But then, with a last effort of strength, the red dragon made itself great and attacked the white dragon and pushed the white dragon right across the tent and into the pool and across the pool and away. The red dragon was victorious. And the meaning of this, said the boy. What is the meaning of all of this?
It means that the Saxon will be thrown away.
So you think the white dragon represents?
The Saxons?
The Saxons. And the red dragon?
Welsh. And
the Welsh, or the Old Britons?
Yeah, I think so. And pool can mean the sea around.
The sea around? The advisors once more were ashamed. They did not know. And now King Vortigern was angry. And he said, "Are you my advisors? Fools! Let's listen to what the child says." And the boy stepped forward and said, "I will tell you, my king. This pool represents the oceans. And this tent is our land of Britain. And we, the Britons, we are the red dragon. And the Sassenachs, who've come from across the land and across the seas, they are the white dragon. And at the moment they are mighty, and they have driven us back to our very shores, back to the mountains. But one day, oh my king, one day we will rise up and we will defeat the Sassenachs. And Britain will once more be in the hands of the Britons. And King Vortigern listened to the boy's words, and he felt a fire inside him, a patriotism, a desire to fight. And he sent away his advisors with the order that they should be killed. And this boy he kept by him. He was not sacrificed. Indeed, he became the great advisor to the king. And when this boy grew older, he gave himself a name that is never forgotten in all of Britain and even in parts of France, especially in Bretagne. You know who this boy became?
No.
Say again? Of course. You're right. Could you say it again?
No.
How do you say it in French?
No.
Yes. Merlin. That's right. Merlin. It's lovely in French. Merlin. And there are many tales of the wisdom of Merlin.